Here's an interesting concept. Our lives are Netflix series. There are different seasons. Now, some are better than others, but ultimately, we want to fast forward. That was really fast. We want to fast forward through getting through exams, schools, get to that next relationship, etc. But the problem is, once you try to fast forward through everything, you get to the end. And unlike on Netflix, you can always hop to the next TV show. When it comes to life, we don't really want to fast forward that. So what do? Well, you enjoy every era, every season as it comes. I remember being a kid and just remembering all the restrictions that were put on me. I wasn't able to drive a car, had to go to school, had to wake up at a certain time. It was annoying. At the same time, there are certain perks when being a kid that I can no longer enjoy as an adult. I have to be financially responsible. I have to think about investments. I have to think about living expenses, how I'm going to progress, how I'm going to take care of myself and those around me. As a kid, don't have those type of responsibilities. And here's a really interesting conundrum that I think about way more than I should. It's not related to this video at all, but if you had your same thoughts, your same experiences, everything that you have right now in your mind, but you time traveled back and you're now in your 10-year-old, 6-year-old self body, what would you do? Like, obviously the technology is behind and you're like, oh my gosh, I can just like look it up on my oh, can't do that. Okay, I could invent the cell phone, but I don't know how to invent a cell phone. And I went to college, so then therefore I should be able to get a job and get like incredible money. I can skip all this kindergarten BS, but they're not gonna believe me because I'm 6 years old. Just stuff that I think about. Because I'd be like, could I be like a CEO of a major company just making a ton of money? But then at the same time, I would feel bad because I'd be robbing my parents of that experience of raising a child. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, hey, I'm an adult in a young kid's body, and now I just robbed you of that experience, but it wasn't my choice because I got... Let's get back on track. So right now I'm looking at this era or this season that I'm in currently and trying to find my blind spots. Like, what are certain things that I'm really going to enjoy that I'm not going to have the luxury later on in my life? And as a result, there are probably certain things I'm really focusing on that I think are problems that won't be there in the next season. So then therefore don't put that much thought, don't put that much weight into it. Know that it's there, that I will overcome it, but don't give so much attention to it. Circling back to a TV show or a Netflix series, like, you know, the main character is going to overcome it. It's like, all right, just how are they going to do it? For me right now, I'm juggling a lot. I have a lot of options. I'm trying to decide where I want my life path to go, because I know that once I get older, I'm going to have less options and less decisions. I work full time. I'm starting up a new business. I think about investments that I can make that are going to be wise and help me out in the future, as well as thinking about relationship status and starting a family, on top of having hobbies, spending time with the family, and just in general, enjoying my health and my youth. As you can tell, this can get very overwhelming, but I need to enjoy the benefits and the perks that are in this era. Let's be honest, not every season is going to be a banger. I remember that happening for one of my favorite series called Lost.
We have to go back!
This was a show that came out 20 years ago. It had time travel, it had like suspense, action, mystery. I loved it. Now, the ending, I'm gonna be honest, it did me dirty, but that's beside the point. But in case you weren't aware, 20 years ago, there wasn't any Netflix. There wasn't the ability to just binge watch all these shows within 2 weeks. A new episode came out every single week at a specific time on the TV, and you had to catch it. And if you didn't see it or record it, you were screwed. Maybe if you were lucky, you'd be able to catch an old episode because they didn't release a new one for whatever reason. It was like a holiday or something like that. But yeah, good luck on that. Finally, after about 9 months, they would release the next season. You go, yes, I'm so excited. But then you just forgot all the specific details that happened in the previous season. It was a whole thing. Also, at one time, there was a writer's strike, and that caused a whole wrench in the schedule, but we're not going to talk about that. Since the moment that I started watching Lost to the final episode ever created, I would say that's about 6 years. And I joke around that currently, that's my longest standing relationship at this point. Now, there were some really, really good seasons, as well as some seasons where you go like, it was all right. But there were 1 or 2 particular seasons where I'm like, oh my gosh, this got me hooked. It was just so good. At this point, I'm ready to create like a whole video just talking about loss, but I'll retract. There are going to be certain seasons of our life where it's not like high level, oh my gosh, top rated. But at the same time, they're important to help push along the story. And even in those rough seasons, there were still really great moments or characters that were introduced where you go, whoa, that was actually really cool. Looking back on my own life, yeah, there are certain times where it was rough, but I'm actually really grateful for it because that helped me build that foundation where right now I'm doing so much better. In addition, if every season is great, you wouldn't know that it's a great season. Kind of similar, like if you've never felt sadness, then you don't have as great of appreciation for joy. So the main message of this video is treat your life like a Netflix series or a TV show. Some seasons you can enjoy a lot more than others. But at the same time, you don't want to like fast forward it and just try to get to the end as soon as possible because you're going to miss out on the magic that happened in every era. Now, if you agree that you're the main character of your story and that you're just excited to see how this story unfolds as you go through this journey, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.